right, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Popcorn Heroes. I am joined with the... what the fuck did they say? Back for the first time?
Back for the first time.
Oh, yeah. Mike is joining me.
Hey.
And I am your host, Pedro. And this episode, we will be reviewing The Irishman, a.k.a. I Heard You Paint Houses.
I heard you paint houses.
I kind of
What
like
does that mean? I don't understand that.
Okay, so it means that, you know, when you shoot somebody in the head, their blood splatters the walls. You paint houses.
I heard you paint houses. Got it.
I think that was pretty clever. It was a little weird when the title screen popped up. I was confused. I'm like, oh, are these chapters? But then they never showed a chapter again. And I'm like, oh.
That's true.
But that's the name of the book that the movie's based off. So, all right. So, shit, I'm the fucking summary guy. So the summary for The Irishman is... Damn, how do I fucking explain this one? All right. So it follows a guy named Frank Sheeran, is an Irishman. And it pretty much just shows how he was connected to the mob underworld. And he's kind of like the Forrest Gump of mobsters. Like, he was everywhere where all the big shit happened. And he knew all the big people. So this is... it's not 100% true, but this is kind of like a theory of how they think certain things went down with like Jimmy Hoffa and the president, JFK.
It was only from his perspective, though.
Right. But they didn't really interview him. This was just a book written by a guy who had that theory. They
didn't even interview him?
No.
Jesus, that's even worse.
Yeah. So it's just kind of like, what if?
Yeah.
Like certain things make sense with this theory. And I thought it was a pretty damn good theory. But I mean, if it were true, they would know where... Never mind. I was gonna say where certain bodies have been buried.
I think everyone knows.
Oh, okay.
Anyways, I think that's like a legend at this point.
Yeah.
That's why
it's true. I actually know him for that rather than what he really was, Jimmy Hoffa.
Yeah, for disappearing, right?
Yeah,
because I thought this was a fictional movie, and then the name Jimmy Hoffa comes up, and I'm like, wait, this is real?
Yeah. It's a what if real.
Yeah, I realized that after because I did a little more research after.
All right, so let's get started. 1 out of 5. What do you give it?
2.
2. Didn't like it.
This long ass fucking movie for no fucking reason. Jesus. The acting, of course, is amazing. You can never take that away from Pacino, especially fucking Pesci. I don't think I've ever seen him in a better role in a movie.
I agree. Pesci was easily the best part of this movie.
Yeah,
easily. I agree.
Al Pacino is just. Al
Pacino. Hooah!
It's like, I don't even know if I don't think that's how fucking Jimmy Hoffa was real. It's just Al Pacino at this point.
That's what I'm wondering. I think it was just, yeah.
And then when I looked at a picture of Hoffa, they don't look anything alike. So they just wanted Pacino and De Niro in the same movie at this point.
Again.
Yeah, exactly. It's not like they haven't been in a movie together.
Yeah.
But Pesci was great. I thought Pacino was good. Not Pacino. De Niro was, I've gotten them confused a lot in life.
Yeah. I mean, they've been in such similar movies that they're the go-to Italian badass actors. Yeah. So,
but there was like a point where I thought they were the exact same person.
That's racist.
But I thought, damn, I was about to do it again. De Niro did good. But I don't know. I just didn't find the movie all that interesting. It just, it's another movie where by the end of it, I was like, okay, what was the point of all this? What am I supposed to understand from this entire fucking movie?
Yeah.
I didn't get because especially the last like 20, 30 minutes, it felt like a different movie now.
Yeah.
We'll get into spoilers, but it just felt completely different.
Yeah. I give it a 3. I liked it, but I agree with you a lot of things. It's just a different type of movie than what I expected. This to me was, I don't know if it's like a love letter, but it's kind of like, how do I say it? You know how Red Dead is pretty much the end of the Cowboys?
Yeah.
Like you watch that and it's just sad to watch just the rise and fall of them. I feel like The Irishman is the rise and fall of the mobsters. And like you're saying the last 20 minutes, you really do see the fall and you're just kind of like, man, they're just like pathetic at this point.
Yeah.
Like, I felt it was realistic and it was just kind of showing that all things die out with age. It's pretty much the theme of what the movie was going for. It's just kind of like, yeah, man, that's it. Like,
well, maybe that's why, because I thought it was going to be like a mob epic movie.
I expected. I thought the same thing. Like looking back on it now, I can appreciate what it was going for. But I give it a 3 because that wasn't my mindset going in. I went in the same as you, like thinking, oh shit, another Goodfellas,
Yeah.
Casino, The Departed, whatever.
Oh, The Departed was so good.
Some shit like that.
Something of that level, yeah.
Right. And then we're just kind of like, oh, nah, this is kind of like how it really is with these people. And then like, it was more of a relationships rather than...
It's a lot more relationships.
It was I wouldn't say, it's a brotherhood triangle is the best way to describe it between those three. And it's just kind of like, this wasn't what I got into, but fuck it. It is what it is. Yeah. So yeah, 3, I liked what it was. It just wasn't what I expected. And,
nah, I didn't like it.
Fuck it. I'll just get right into the spoilers.
Yeah, we can do spoilers.
Fuck it. All right. So spoilers ahead. If you guys haven't seen the movie, turn this off and watch the movie and then come back. So I got to say right off the bat, Joe Pesci by far was the best character and the best actor. And it was kind of cool to see because he's always the loudmouth, hyper.
Loudmouth, cussing,
like,
joking.
you talking to me? Not you talking to me because that's Robert De Niro's line. But like, am I a clown? Am I here to amuse you?
Yeah.
Like
when I think of Joe Pesci, I don't know, maybe that's just his most iconic role to me, but I think of Home Alone.
Home Alone?
And I'm like, this guy did Home Alone?
I was just watching that the other day, and I thought, this motherfucker's a crazy-ass gangster that's going to kill the shit out of this kid.
Yeah. I don't know. He's come so far. I don't know if he's ever done a role like this, but I've never seen him in anything even close.
And watching this made me realize, like, damn, dude, it sucks that he retired. So, he's been retired for, like, a decade or two.
Yeah.
And they convinced him to get on this movie. And after seeing him, I'm like, damn, dude, you still got it.
Yeah.
Like if he gets roles like this, he could totally be nominated. Like he's nominated for a Golden Globe right now. Him and Robert De Niro, and I think he deserves to win it over Robert De Niro by far.
I'd agree. Absolutely. It's not even close.
Yeah, big time. He was just it was a whole other version of that actor that I didn't know he could portray.
He just had, I don't know, throughout the entire movie, he just had like this presence. Like you could tell he was the badass.
Yeah, it's funny because he was real mellow. He never raised his voice.
No.
Not once did he raise his voice,
Even when fucking Hoffa is going off on him, and like you could tell who's the scarier person in the middle of that conversation.
He's like, it is what it is. As soon as you heard that, you went, shit.
Shit. Leave it alone, man. Leave it alone.
We did all we could. Fuck.
We tried to help the guy.
He didn't listen. I was like, damn, I'm feeling all of this shit.
Right?
And I don't know if it's Al Pacino's over the topness, but Hoffa was pissing me off in the movie. I agree. I'm like, you hard-headed son of a bitch.
Like, what else do you think is going to happen at this point?
They wouldn't dare.
Your best friend can't save you now.
I did like that scene where he's like, they can kill a president. They can kill the president of a union. I went, fuck.
Yeah, I thought they were trying to be subtle about that because when they show JFK get shot, like you just see them looking and you're wondering kind of, wait, did they have something to do with that?
What are they thinking? But he was straight up like, if we can do it.
Yeah.
I thought the movie was starting to build up that Frank Sheeran was the one that did it, which was Robert De Niro's character. But I'm glad they didn't go that route. It would have been a little too Forrest Gump for me.
Yeah.
It would have been a little too on the nose. Like, I get it. You were there, But no, it was good. It was good. And the way it showed the politics of it, I just like how everything kind of tied in together. Like Jimmy Hoffa gave money, which he did. He gave money to Nixon. And that's why he's like the fucking Kennedys and all that. Yeah. So I just like the way it all got together.
Hated the Kennedys.
I gotta say though, the de-aging really for Robert De Niro really threw me off.
Really?
Yeah, man.
I thought it was worse for Pacino. Like his face was shining a lot of the time.
Yeah. Pacino wasn't that bad. I thought the one that was flawless was Joe Pesci.
Joe Pesci was...
His de-aging...
I couldn't tell.
Like, even in the scene where... which is kind of cool in the beginning, where they look at the gas station, and they're like, oh, is that the place where... what are the chances in the place where they met? When he shows up, I'm like, dude, look how young they made him look, and it looks natural.
Yeah.
But...
And it was in the light, too, which is...
In the light, yeah. Because the only scenes where I went, damn, that de-aging is on point, is where Robert De Niro was in the dark. Like with a nice like directional light, like with half his face, and I'm like, man, that looks really good. You could pause that, and it's like that's legitimately him. But other than that, when he's in broad daylight, I don't know what it was. There's something off about it.
And I don't understand this de-aging because they act like the technology is on point, but I don't feel like it is.
Yeah,
unless you're gonna have an entire movie in the dark. Yeah, then you can de-age as much as you want.
Yeah, they didn't want to go with... so I was watching on Netflix. They have the Irishman Conversations, and it was them 4 sitting together. It was the director, Robert De Niro, Al Pacino, and Joe Pesci all sitting together, and they're kind of talking about it. And the director was pretty much saying, I didn't want to hire younger guys to play younger versions of you and have to fucking go through the same shit to get them in character. I'd rather like you guys are in character and you guys just play them. And then technology will do the rest.
I mean, that makes sense.
But like we said, at least they got a third of the characters like flawless.
That shit was perfect.
But
it didn't throw me. After a while, I got used to it. At first,
yeah, you do.
It was like, all right, what do you guys? I really thought it was gonna be flawless because the way they were hyping it up, like, oh, we've been waiting. I guess they did the same thing with the fucking Will Smith movie. They make you believe that, they got the technology down.
And we all know the Will Smith one was pretty decent until that last scene. It threw it all out the window. We went, fuck that. All the good shit I said, forget about it.
Yeah, that shit was the worst by far.
I don't think there was a moment like that here.
Nah, nothing that bad. Thank God.
Nothing that bad. But there were a few where I'm like, it was mostly probably the eyes. Because we're so used to seeing Robert De Niro, dark hair, dark eyes, and then you see the light blue eyes that they kept giving him.
Yeah.
Every once in a while, you're like, that's not Robert De Niro. It's not. But I liked the relationship he had with Hoffa and
I did like the relationship.
And Russell, that like his loyalties were like torn.
Yeah. He
was like, oh, I got this guy's back. Like, dude, he was such a good ass bodyguard that he was practically sleeping in the same room as him. Like, that was like inseparable. So those are kind of like his father figures. I thought it was kind of cool. They showed that, and then he had to make the choice, and obviously.
But man, he was doing everything he fucking could to try and get Hoffa to calm the fuck down. But I don't know if he was a hothead like that in real life.
Yeah, they pretty much said he was.
Oh, okay.
It makes sense though, because the type of guy he was is that he literally made an entire living off of just yelling in the microphone, hyping people up to get together. So he was like attention, ego.
What I kind of like that about the movie because I guess it's not all the way fictional. Non-fictional or whatever. But I knew nothing about Hoffa before watching this movie. I just knew he was some famous guy that disappeared.
Yeah. And then they still haven't found him, and there's legends of where he, like, I forgot what stadium it is, but there's a legend that he's buried under a home plate of a baseball stadium.
Yeah.
Because apparently they built a stadium after he died or after he disappeared, and they're like, yeah, they buried him down there. Some crazy fucking stories. I thought the movie was gonna kind of get into that a little bit, but no, they stayed away from that.
But yeah, it did explain like a lot of how he became, at least how he rose, how he became that important or whatever. Mm-hmm. So that part was at least interesting to me.
Yeah, it was cool, and to see where his like war background like got into play. There were a few scenes though that I don't know what it was. The editing was like really off. There's a scene in particular where he's about to burn the factory that the Whispers guy told him about. And you see him like getting ready to, and then it cuts to him in the car, it cuts to him out of the car and back into the car. And I'm just like, what happened here? They didn't even show him burning it. And it was, I forgot who he ran into.
I don't think he burned it though, the factory. He didn't burn it.
Oh, he didn't?
No, because they stopped him, right?
They stopped. It was Harvey Keitel. He's like, hey, that's my place.
Yeah. They stopped Harvey Keitel. That's who that was.
Yeah, man. Reservoir Dogs.
I forgot about that guy.
Yeah, he was in a lot of Scorsese movies, so he pretty much brought in all of his regulars in for it.
The part that looked weird to me was when fucking De Niro, when the shop guy had beat up his pushed his daughter or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
And then he like starts beating up the shop guy. It just looked...
It looked off because it's a young face and he was moving like an old man.
He's moving like an old fucking man.
Yeah.
Like, what is
I thought the same thing. I'm like...
It was weird.
He was like fumbling.
Yeah.
He's like kicking the guy.
Stiff. I'm like, he's supposed to be a young guy beating someone's ass.
He's supposed to be spry. He's supposed to be taxi driver right now. You ain't taxi driver.
Nah, that shit just looks so... That was probably the weirdest scene to me.
I agree, especially since there was no cuts. Like the camera stayed on it long enough for you to go like, you looking real like fragile right now. Yeah, dude.
That was the other part I was...
And that thing I was telling you, the conversations, they were saying that there were a few scenes that they would do. And like the scene where Al Pacino's yelling at the screen like fucking Kennedys, and I guess he gets out of the chair.
Yeah.
Apparently the director was like, cut. He's like, you're supposed to be 45 in this scene, and you got up like you 60 something. We got to do it again. You got to get up faster.
Damn, for real?
Yeah. There were a few scenes. There was even scenes where they said Robert De Niro had to like go down the stairs. Yeah. And it's like, you're going a little slow there. You gotta hop down those stairs. But clearly they didn't think of that in that fight scene, quote unquote, where he's just getting his ass whooped.
That kind of makes me want to watch because I don't think that really registered in my head. Maybe because I'm used to them just being old.
Yeah.
So I wasn't looking for them to be. Well, other than that one scene, I wasn't looking for them to be moving.
Oh man, if you watch like Godfather, where those guys were like young as fuck, and Taxi Driver, Robert De Niro's super young. You look at that and you're like, yeah, man, nah, that guy could move. What we saw in Irishman was clearly an old man's body with a young face, and that's probably the main reason why it was throwing me off. If he would have moved youthful, I probably would have got past it. But I just kept thinking to myself, nah, man. Even with, I guess, apparently this guy directing you to move faster, it ain't fast enough. It ain't fast enough. It just felt clumsy.
Yeah, I can see that.
You know which character I really liked was Tony Pro, which is the guy from Snatch. And he also played Capone in Boardwalk Empire.
Tony Pro. Which one was he?
The one that came in with the shorts and was late to the meeting. The one that Hoffa.
The one who we fought in the prison.
That to me was like a Joe Pesci type character. The loudmouth, the crazy. Joe Pesci in his prime would have been that guy.
Yeah, what do you say something about kidnap your granddad? I was like, shit.
Yeah. What do you mean, you people? That was the other thing.
That should hurt him, man. The second you heard that.
But he was so racist towards the Italians. He's like, Tony. They're all Tony. Tony, Tony, Tony. Which Tony?
Oh.
Yeah, Hoffa kept busting.
I agree with him on that, though.
He racist too. Which Tony? Oh, yeah. They're all Tony.
Man. You didn't laugh at that? That was so true.
That's why he was like, you people. He was pretty much, and he called them, you fucking wop, like all that stuff. Like,
I don't know the slurs for them, but.
Oh, okay. Well, that's pretty much one of the racial slurs for like Italians. They called them that. So that's why he was like, what do you mean, you people? Because he knew he hated Italians.
Well, I mean, you could tell that he hated Italians in the movie, though. Yeah.
Which, what the fuck was, I'm just so used to Al Pacino being Italian that it's kind of weird for him to play as a not Italian.
That's true.
Let me see what he was supposed to be.
Isn't he just American?
Yeah, I think he's like an American, Irish, German descent. So that's Jimmy Hoffa. And then you got Robert De Niro, who's also very Italian, playing a dude of Irish descent. So it was a little weird getting these actors
a little out of their element
to try to make us forget who they are. It was a little weird. It was just nice to see all three of them again.
What's the name of the guy Robert De Niro played again?
Frank Sheeran.
Frank. I got to see what he looks like to see if at least Robert De Niro looks like that guy.
Nah.
Damn.
Nothing like him.
They didn't give a fuck, huh?
I'll put up the photo right now so you can see that shit. But that's not even close. He did have light eyes that you can see. So that's probably why.
Scorsese doesn't like working with new people?
I guess not.
Jesus.
Yeah, here's a photo of him right here.
He don't look nothing like this fucking guy.
It's a white dude.
He's like a really white dude.
Like, yes, Robert De Niro's white, but you could tell he's Italian white.
Yeah.
That's a weird way to describe it, but you kind of get what I'm saying. Like there's something else besides just Anglo, like European. So, but yeah, I was like, I couldn't shake the fact that everyone keeps calling you Irish, but you don't look a lick of Irish. Like not even those blue eyes.
No.
But so I guess the second half of the movie that you were talking about, where it starts slowing down, where you see them getting older and all getting like prison time. Man, seeing Joe Pesci that fucking old.
Old and in a fucking chair.
He's like, pour the grape juice, and then they start pouring the bread in the. I'm just like, man.
I felt so bad for them at that point.
He's like, he went to church, then he went to the cemetery and the grave, and I was just like, damn, dude, that's it. That's the end of the best character right there.
Damn it! I don't know. It all felt. I mean, it all felt like, what was the point of everything you guys did in your lives?
I guess that's kind of the point of the movie too.
Now that I'm thinking about it, that had to be the point of the movie.
Because the daughter, which by the way, she never fucking talks, like almost never talks throughout the whole movie. When she finally goes, like, it pretty much was, you sacrificed your entire family because you wanted to be a hard ass and get in with people for a better life. But then at the end, like you said, what was the fucking point?
You don't have a better life. You're in this fucking home. All your friends are dead. Your quote unquote friends are dead.
Yeah,
you're one of your best friends. I think you killed him. I wonder if she thinks that in real life.
Oh, for sure. You mean the Hoffa?
Oh, yeah.
She knew he killed Hoffa because when it pops up on the news, that's when she stopped talking to him.
No, I mean, like, if his actual daughter in real life thinks that he killed Hoffa in real life.
Shit, probably.
Or that's just fantasized for the movie. Yeah, but you could tell, like, she knew automatically when she saw that.
Yeah. And they did a good job of showing that Hoffa and her were tight. Like,
I don't know. That relationship looked kind of weird to me.
Well, you can clearly see that she didn't like Russell. Because remember, he's like, hey,
she didn't like him or anybody.
He's like, hey, come over here. and I forgot what the fuck he asked her while they were bowling. It was a little weird. He was all awkward and she's just like not listening.
Yeah.
But with Hoffa, she was just like, oh, hey, ice cream. That's what it was. They loved the ice cream and all that shit.
He loved fucking ice cream. That's all he ever did in the movie.
Yeah. That's true. Even when they had the beef in the prison with the Tony Pro guy.
Yeah,
he's there eating like a fucking king, like he said. You are eating like a king, looking down on me.
I ain't got shit in here.
I'm not gonna lie, I'd be pissed too. Oh, where's my money? It's gone. What about yours? Now mine's still there. Why is yours still there? Mine gone.
Mine's fucking gone.
Yeah, I was
There's
like,
better ways to ask that shit.
yeah, I was like, I felt that shit.
Yeah. Nah, he could ask that better. But I don't know, just something about old men and little girls having that is not your daughter having that.
It is. Yeah, from an outsider's look, it's definitely weird.
But I mean, I guess back in those times,
it was a little more innocent.
Yeah, it was a little more innocent.
Yeah, now we look at it and we just think, fucking,
what are you doing over there?
Cosby's, Kevin
Exactly.
Spacey looking, the fuck is this? Yeah.
There's a lot of that.
It's true. Well, we're kind of brainwashed now to be like, stay away from my daughter.
Yeah.
I don't give a shit if you give her ice cream.
No, but how do you feel about him actually killing Hoffa though? First, I felt bad for Hoffa's son.
Yeah, man. Meth Damon from fucking Breaking Bad.
Todd.
There you go, Todd.
Todd.
Fat Todd.
Yeah, the poor fucking guy.
He had no idea. He just drove him over like, hey, man, how you doing, guys? Yeah, that was crazy. And you could tell, like, I felt a little bit for Robert De Niro. Like, you could tell he's like, oh, man, I really don't want to do this.
Yeah, even like when he's like standing behind him that first second when they get in there.
Yeah, and he hesitates. That's the reason why as he's going back, that's when he's like, fuck it.
I gotta do this now.
I guess that was like his signature, the double tap, because he double tapped everyone in the movie.
I didn't even notice that.
Even the dude with the fucking glasses that they thought was snitching and he wasn't.
That innocent ass guy.
They were like, hey, what's up? Pop, pop. Double tap. And they're like, oh, they found out he did tell someone. But that person didn't tell us.
I mean, I guess that's how shit happened, but murder was just so like regular for them back then.
Yeah, it's
like
great.
in the middle of the street.
Yeah, I know, right? I was thinking that too. Like,
you're not even like in an alley or.
Well, shit. That kind of reminds me of what's the movie with Denzel? American Gangster. Remember when he shoots Idris Elba in the middle of the street and goes back to eating?
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
So it's like when you know you're in your turf and you know no one's gonna dare talk because if not, that'll happen to them. You have that freedom, and the cops are paid for and shit. So it was a different time.
It was a different, like that shit could not happen.
I can't imagine with cell phones. I would say the cell phones is the biggest reason why that can't happen right now.
True.
People would immediately put that shit on Facebook, and then the media would force the cops to have to do something.
Yeah.
But before that, I'd be like, oh yeah, I heard shots. So what? Firecrackers? I heard nothing.
That's true. Social media changes everything.
But yeah, man, it was a different time. I thought that too. I'm like, look at all these shootouts and people just chilling.
Just in the middle. You can execute anybody at any time of day and just keep on moving.
I was like, what a time to be alive then. You can fucking pop anybody and just throw it in the same river. Especially when he's like, everyone threw it in there.
Oh,
If they ever fished it up, they're like, why did nobody fish that up? Everyone knew. And you actually see that shit.
Yeah, all those fucking guns. That shit was crazy.
Yeah, the more I think about it now that we're talking about it, yeah, the theme of the movie, it all makes sense. We just didn't go into the movie with that mentality.
So
that's why it's through
something different.
Yeah. I guess if later down the line, if I ever plan to rewatch, it's a long ass fucking movie. If I ever plan to rewatch it, then maybe I'll enjoy it a little more. But
it was what, 3 hours, right?
It was 3.5.
3.5. Yeah, they're not getting that 3.5 hours from
Well, he always does long movies. Like Wolf of Wall Street was 3 hours. He did
I've
that.
I've never seen Wolf of Wall Street, but I want to watch that one.
Damn, you should. It's a totally different type of crime movie.
Yeah.
But yeah, blue collar crime. No, white collar crime. There you go.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I don't know what else I wanted to say about it. It was just seeing the rise and fall of the gangster, essentially. And you're just like, man, these guys are just pathetic now. What was it all? Was it really worth it in the end?
It can't have been worth it.
And that's essentially I felt was the theme of the movie.
Your family's not that much better off.
Yeah. That's true. Oh, one of the things that I really liked the movie did is every time they introduce a side character, they'll pause and show how they died.
Oh, yeah.
So it's further proving like,
it's pointless.
Look what you did to yourself for being in this life.
You thought you were this shit. Now you're doing all this.
Yeah, they did that to almost every character. Like you see the guy act all tough and he's like shot 5 times in the face, and you're like, God damn.
I think that's the guy he shot at the end of the movie.
That's true. He did shoot him there. I think that was the glasses guy.
Yeah,
that was one of them.
That poor fucking guy, man. He shot that guy so many times.
And I guess his specialty was strangling them behind. That's why Robert De Niro's like, I'm not going to sit in the fucking front. I'm sitting in the back. Remember that?
Oh, that was his. You're right. You're right.
He's like, I'll be in the back, and he's like, nah, because he knows. He's like, no, I know your fucking specialty. I ain't going there.
I'll sit in the back. Yeah, sure.
I don't know if you caught that one. Like, why he was so adamant about that? It's like, yeah, man.
There was fish shit in the back. Why would you want to sit in the back? You're the older guy.
Yeah, I didn't understand the fish thing. I wasn't sure if that's supposed to mean something else. Like, was that supposed to be blood that maybe he wiped?
That's what I was kind of thinking. Like, he just came from shooting somebody.
Or maybe he was suspicious that it was blood that got cleaned because he saw the wet. That's why he was so like, what type of fish? How do you know what fucking fish you bought? Like, maybe.
I was kind of thinking, but I wasn't sure.
Yeah.
All right, maybe it's just fucking fish for some reason.
Yeah, that was a weird scene. I was like, what the fuck's going on here?
Yeah, why would you have a fish when you got to take
it? Was still an interesting conversation. It was almost Tarantino-ish of them arguing about that.
Nah, Tarantino would have did it better.
Yeah, you're right. Tarantino would have did it better.
I don't know. Those
Tarantino has the best. He has the best anecdotes to put at the right time.
I don't know how he does that, but he's a genius when it comes to that.
That's true. But yeah, I guess that's all I got to say about the movie.
Yeah. Overall, I wouldn't watch it again, though. I wouldn't watch it again.
Would you recommend it to people?
I wouldn't recommend it.
I would recommend it to people that are really into the gangster genre. Like
really, really into it.
Like now, the way I would explain it is, okay, watch these gangster movies, the classics, and then watch this at the end so you can kind of get an idea of the end of the gangster era, just to kind of get it in perspective.
I think personally, maybe I just like the stereotypical gangster movie. Because even, what the fuck was that show? The Sopranos, I watched the entire series, but I didn't really like it that much. Because it wasn't your typical like gangster story.
It was very down to earth.
Yeah, it was
like, hey man, we're just a regular family.
I wasn't really a fan of that.
I never finished it. I saw maybe the first 2 seasons.
You didn't miss much.
Once I saw they CG'd the mom, I was like, I'm done.
That shit was, that's the worst.
You remember that? I saw that and I went, and I'm done with this show.
Nah, that shit was terrible.
Floating head and shit. Yeah, that was weird. But yeah.
I guess I can't complain about the de-aging if they had shit like that.
That's true. Could have been worse. Could have been a fucking floating head. Oof. That would have been terrible. But yeah, all right. That about wraps up our review of The Irishman. I don't know what Armando says. Armando says a bunch of random shit.
Follow us on IG.
All our social media platforms. We read your comments, blah, blah, blah. We really don't, but whatever.
Yeah, do all that good shit.
Yeah. Alrighty, guys. Bye-bye.
Outro.